Welcome to OnCore Indie, a weekly show about the latest indie mobile games. This week we're reviewing an action RPG dungeon crawler that removes the actual crawling part from the genre. It's called Nonstop Knight. Let's get right into the review. If you've played any popular action RPGs like Diablo, you know that the constant clicking and dragging of your character through an endless dungeon can be a grind. But that grind is rewarded with healthy amounts of loot and upgrades to progress your character throughout your journey. For better or worse, Nonstop Knight is kind of the opposite of that experience in a lot of ways. As the title suggests, your main hero is a non-stop dungeon crawler with the game automatically controlling the movement and basic combat of your character, which lends itself really well for one-handed operation. And because of that automation, the progression of your hero becomes the grind rather than the action itself. Now let's talk about what you do control in the game. You have special abilities that you can use in battle, and there are some really cool powers that you unlock throughout the game, like the ability to clone yourself and take down a big wave of bad guys. It's definitely more of a passive experience than you're used to with an action RPG, but it also feels like a unique experience because of that too. I often found myself just letting the game run on autopilot at times, which is actually kind of nice. If you have an affection for dungeon crawlers, you might find this relaxed pace as a fresh take on the genre. In most action RPGs, there's a point of slowdown in progression, especially when you level up your character significantly. That's where I think Nonstop Knight might not have a very long shelf life for a lot of gamers. You'll burn through levels 1 through 20 very quickly, and every few level progressions after that feel more and more like a grind. I think if the game offered a wider variety of options to spend in-game currency, that would have certainly kept me motivated to keep logging in and grinding for another 10 to 15 minutes. That's ultimately what you want out of an RPG like this, more and more reasons to progress your character. Like I said, this is common for the genre, but Nonstop Knight unfortunately doesn't transcend that formula. Because Nonstop Knight is a free-to-play game, it's definitely worth a download if you're a fan of the dungeon crawler genre. I can see the more hardcore fans writing off a game like this for being too casual, but I think anyone who gives this game a shot will find out quickly that it's much more than that. This game reminds me a lot of Marvel Future Fight, which is an action RPG that I got really into a while back. The grind of that mobile game was a lot more satisfying for me because of the variety of rewards and surprises that kept coming even after putting 6 to 8 hours into that game. That being said, I think the laid-back pace and the one-handed gameplay of Nonstop Knight make it worth checking out. If you watch this review and decide to download the game, let us know by tweeting at us, and we'll see you next time.